and welcome back to another one of these videos where we are looking at another episode of the Goop Lab, because we're halfway through. This is the 4th episode out of the 6 that are currently up, and I still hope and pray, on one hand, that all there will be is 6, but on the other hand, I've actually been making a fair decent amount of money off of these videos, so on the other hand, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I had to sit through it and make a video about it, but I am being rewarded for it, so in the name of just disclosure, yeah. Anyway, so this 4th episode is called The Health Span Plan, and it is the one with the vampire facials. The description that Netflix gives is, how old are you inside? Gwyneth, Elise, and Wendy. I do not know them by their names other than Gwyneth. Gauge their biological ages after dietary tweaks and try facial threading in a vampire facial. So the whole thing started with the episode with them being told that there's a difference between your biological age and your chronological age. And your chronological age is like, you know, I am 35 years old. However, my biological age, who the hell knows? I'm probably like 80, but judging by different health factors and markers in your blood, or I don't know how they gauge it actually, but they determined how old their bio ages were compared to their chronological ages, and then they were looking at, is there anything that they could do to change that number, and supposedly different diets claim that they can do that, so the 3 of them went on different diets to try to see what, if anything, does the most help. So one of them went on a full vegan diet for, I forget if it was 3 weeks or 6 weeks, but full vegan. One of them went on a pescatarian diet, which is mostly Mediterranean, fish-based. And then Gwyneth herself went on this intermittent fasting thing, but hers only lasted 5 days, because it was such restricted calorie intake. I think the first day she got to have like 800 calories for the day, and like dropped down to 500, and I think one of them was even lower than that, and then back up a little, and then down again. It does not sound very safe, and they said that it only goes 5 days, because any longer than that and it becomes detrimental to your health instead of helpful, but that supposedly people who do this intermittent fasting diet do it like 3 times a year. Yeah, I don't know, it sounds hellish to me, but they gave her this box that had all of her food she would be consuming in the next 5 days in it. It was only like a little box, and most of it was like freeze-dried stuff, like soups and teas and things. Like a basically Nutri-Grain type bar thing. Like, it was not very much. And we could all tell that this is going to suck, really, to go through for her. The other 2, not so bad. I mean, people do those diets all the time, but this one I was like, oh, that sounds horrible. You couldn't pay me to do that. But then, additionally, they were seeing different treatments you could do on your skin to visibly turn back the clock to try to look younger. So, one of them did acupuncture in their face with like 100 needles in their face. One of them did facial threading, which, oh my freaking god. And then Gwyneth did the vampire facial. So I don't know where to start, on the diets or on the facials. I think I'm going to start on the facials. So the acupuncture one, it is exactly what it sounds like. We all know what acupuncture is. I guess it's so unnoteworthy. It didn't even get mentioned in the little blurb about it on the website, whereas the other 2 did. It was so quick and painless that she literally slept through it. I really did not see any visual difference, but supposedly it's beneficial or something, but I've heard its purported benefits more so for like pain relief type things, but okay, they're doing it for looking younger. You do you. Personally, all of these things, the diets as well as the facial things, these just sound like rich people crap that they're stupid enough to blow their money on this, and it's all like snake oil. It's all in their heads. Who knows if it actually does a damn bit of good, but it sounds more like they have more money than they know what to do with, and out of desperation they do these things, and whether or not they actually work, who knows, but they think it does, so there's that. whole placebo effect, but the facial threading one looked horrible. It was like an actual surgical procedure where they had to make little incisions in her face and thread these cones with wires up through her freaking face. And I was like, both sides. And like, when it was first done, it like actually puckered her cheeks and looked kind of like the Joker. It was freaky looking. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, now I know what Liza Minnelli did to her face. But, except hers is stuck that way. But, this one, supposedly the puckering would go away after a few days of it healing, which apparently it did. But after it did, I saw literally zero difference in her face from before. It looked just like it did before she had it done. So I was like, well, that did absolutely fuck all, and you went through that for nothing. That sucks. That sucks. Like, the concept of it on paper sounded, like, feasible, because, I mean, if it's, like, from the inside, pulling your skin more taut to, like, firm out the fine lines and wrinkles. See, this one won't even smooth down on me, even if I did that, but, supposedly it helps smooth it out from the underside, or that's the claim. But again, I really didn't see a bit of difference, so whatever. So that was hers, and then Gwyneth got the vampire facial. So what the fuck is a vampire facial, you may ask? I was asking the same thing. Apparently, you go in, they draw a vial of your own blood, which, I mean, I suppose is better than Botox and having toxins injected in your face. It's your own stuff that's getting injected back in, but they draw a vial of blood, and then they put it in a coagulator-type machine that shakes it and spins it and does all sorts of stuff to separate the blood platelets from the plasma, and it's the plasma that they want, and they take the plasma from the blood. I don't know what they do with the rest of the blood. I guess toss it. I don't know, but they take the plasma, and they smooth it all over your face as if it were a serum, and then they take this, like, micro needle thing that just, like, makes thousands and thousands, teeny tiny little itty bitty needle holes in your face for the plasma to sink back into your skin. And supposedly this is supposed to stimulate collagen regeneration or rejuvenation or something. Oh my god, first off, that sounds horrible. Both the blood drawing and the face needling, as well as her face was so red afterwards. She looked like she had a sunburn, and she was like, oh, the doctor was all, it'll stay that way for about 3 days after. I'm like, bitch, bye. No thanks, no thanks. I'm good. I'll deal with age on my face. I'll age gracefully, and, you know, people are supposed to age, so, I'll embrace my wrinkles and the fact that I lived long enough to get them, so, but she, on the other hand, is in the public eye, so that's different, but, she did this, and they had her numbed up enough to where she didn't feel it while it was going on, but they really didn't talk about the aftercare part, and how much it probably had to hurt after the fact. She did not discuss this, and I'm like, you're leaving out a pretty crucial key piece here. Same with the threading one, but, all three of them, I saw no fucking difference other than her face was reddened for a while, but then after the fact, I'm like, it does not look different. I'm sorry. It doesn't. You went through that for nothing and paid for that for nothing. I'm sorry. Now the diets, the vegan diet did fuck all. I knew it. I knew vegan diets were a sham. I knew it all along. Vegetarian, fine, but vegan, I knew it was bullshit. But, I mean, if morally you feel better being a vegan, more power to you. You do you. But for the health benefits, there's apparently so many that also come along that counteract the benefits to where basically you're at a zero sum between the two. No difference. So then the pescatarian diet, it did a little bit of good with changing the bio-age younger. It, like, shaved off a few months. That was it. The one Gwyneth went on, sadly, they claim, did the most. But even at that, I think it took off something like a year and a half. So I guess if you did that 3 times a year and a half, that's 3 years, I guess by the end of a year, you'd have shaved off 4.5 years of your bio-age every year doing that. It sounds like a hellish way to go about doing it, but I mean, if you got that kind of willpower, more power to you. I sure as shit do not, but, like, by the last day, she was super hangry, she felt like she was gonna faint and fall down constantly. I'm like, yeah, no, that does not sound reasonable to me. That, you're literally starving yourself to the point of actual starvation. That is not a good thing. I'm sorry, it's not. Let me answer this real quick and we'll wrap this up. Okay, so, yeah, apparently that one does something, but it doesn't sound like a very wise way to go about it, because again, you are literally starving yourself nearly to death. I mean, I guess in 5 days you won't die, but sounds like you come pretty damn close. That's, no thank you. I mean, supposedly it can, like, turn back the effects of all sorts of things and prevent cancers and prevent heart disease, prevent diabetes, prevent all these things which sound like very lofty claims, to where it's like, maybe you can sell me on the fact that you are turning back biological age, but I'm not sure that I buy it, that unless you can prove this somehow. Are there studies on this to actually back this up, that it actually does that much of a difference doing this extreme act 3 times a year? Because I don't know. I mean, if you did all of that and then it still happened after all that, that just sounds like you put yourself through hell over and over and over again for absolutely nothing. It's just my takeaway from it. But, yeah, that was this episode. It just seemed like it was filled with terrible ideas, and hopefully people didn't watch this thinking, oh yeah, I should blow my money on these things, because no, it looks like they really don't do enough to justify the high costs, the high price tags on them. But I mean, again, if that's how you want to spend your money, you do you, but, God, it just does not sound very smart to me. Not that last one, anyway. I mean, the pescatarian diet, maybe. I mean, that's reasonable. That's not a terrible diet. I don't eat that far off from that anyway, besides not junk food edition, but actual, like, diet, that's actually pretty close. I mean, I eat chicken too, but besides that, I really don't bother with most meats, so, but I mean, I don't know. It's yet another episode of Goop Lab where I expect everything to be terrible ideas. And every once in a while they have a good one, but most of them are terrible ideas. So we will keep watching them and analyzing them. At least there's only 2 more to go now. The next one is the energy healing one. Oh boy. But, yeah, that. Can we tell how excited I am? Anyways, so that's it for this one. So if you like this video, and I watched it so you didn't have to, and I spared you half an hour of your life, give this a thumbs up. If you want to be, and you aren't already, make sure to hit subscribe and the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Have you seen this crap? What are your thoughts? Leave them down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is also down in the description. Everything's down below. Anyways, till next time. Bye-bye.